The anime begins on a stormy night, with a girl making her way to the rooftop of a building. The scene then shifts to a bedroom shared by two occupants, where suddenly the lights go out. One of them, clearly older, instructs the younger one to investigate. He heads to the terrace door and notices that it's been forced open. Thinking it might be a burglar, he rushes outside only to encounter a very different scene. The girl is casting a spell but is struck by lightning as soon as the boy spots her, causing her to collapse unconscious. Thinking about giving her first aid, the boy wants to land a kiss before anything else. She awakens right in the middle of this and promptly slaps him, storming off angrily. We then discover that her powers have diminished, and when the boy returns to the room, it appears he has inherited some of those abilities. The next day, our protagonist, Yingxiong, notices improvements in some of his skills, such as his vision. Not long after, he spots that same girl from the previous night. A guy tries to approach her, but she ignores him. Meanwhile, an enemy observes from nearby, sensing Yingxiong's capabilities. This enemy causes a billboard structure to fall on a passing girl, but our protagonist uses his spiritual powers to save her and ends up losing consciousness. When he wakes up, he finds himself tied up in a room with the feisty girl from earlier. She demands that he return what he took from her. He is initially confused, but she explains that her spiritual powers come from cultivation. She threatens him with death, giving him two choices. Either she kills him, or they cultivate their powers together. In the opening moments of the second episode, the feisty girl takes Yingxiong to the terrace of a hotel to awaken his powers. Since he opts for the quickest method, she instructs him to jump off the building to trigger his abilities. Naturally, he refuses, but she pushes him off. He falls, panicking at the thought that he may not awaken any powers, nearly fainting. Just before hitting the ground, the girl joins him, and as they near the pavement, Yingxiong opens his wings and manages to halt their fall. When he feels proud of his newfound abilities, the girl tosses him back onto the terrace, reminding him that every action has consequences. She explains that he cannot run around using his powers openly lest he attracts the attention of other cultivators. We then see what appears to be an enemy sensing Yingxiong's new energy. He instructs a girl to locate him, warning that if he turns out to be just another weakling, she should kill him. In the meantime, we witness Yingxiong and the feisty girl getting closer as they begin their cultivation journey. The final scene of the episode shows that same girl tasked with testing Yingxiong by instructing him to kill someone. The following day, this same cultivator assassinates in Yingxiong's city while searching for him. Knowing he is a man, she decides to employ a more effective strategy: seduction. She charms several men to meet her, but upon realizing that none of them possess spiritual energy, she abandons that idea, considering the possibility that he might be attracted to men instead of women. Later that day, she seduces some men online, posing as a sweet boy. Yingxiong's roommate, who shares a room with him, falls for her charm while on the computer. He leaves the room talking about this cute boy, raising Yingxiong's suspicions. When he investigates, he encounters this sweet boy, only to discover when his roommate realizes that the boy lacks spiritual power, he is thrown aside. Yingxiong tries to flee but is interrupted by the seductive power. He ends up at a building, still under the influence of her charms, when suddenly the assassin strikes. After breaking her enchantment, she summons her flaming sword, revealing her own identity as a cultivator. He attempts to escape but is caught, and for some reason, he ends up losing his pants. Just then, Musi arrives to the rescue. The two confront each other, and it quickly becomes clear that the enemy is far more powerful. However, Musi manages to hold her own temporarily, buying time for Yingxiong to escape, telling him she will intervene when she can. The battle rages on, with both unleashing large amounts of spiritual energy, but Musi struggles to gain the upper hand and eventually collapses to the ground. As she is about to be finished off, she feels drops on her face, initially thinking it's rain only to realize it's Yingxiong's blood, as he rushes back after being away for so long. He steps in front of the attack and collapses on Musi's shoulder. With the assassin relentless in her assault, she continues striking them down, leaving Musi wounded and in tears. Yingxiong awakens in a spiritual realm, confused. He meets a reaper named Lixuanzi, who mistakenly believes Yingxiong arrived there by accident. However, He later identifies himself as Muzi's cultivation partner. The Reaper then explains that this is fate, as Muzi comes from a long line of powerful successors and presents Yingxiong as a rosary with hidden powers. Lixuanzi offers him another chance to return to the real world just as Muzi is about to be finished off. A surge of spiritual energy emerges, knocking the assassin down, revealing a transformed Siume, complete with majestic wings. The assassin is frozen in fear by the immense power emanating from him. Although she attempts to fight back with her whip, Lixuanzi easily destroys it with a single word. Realizing she has lost, the defeated assassin tries to leap from the terrace in despair, but Yingxiong catches her, saving her from death. Later, back in a hotel room, Muzi demands to know how he awakened that power. Yingxiong stutteringly avoids her questions, which leads her to take more drastic measures to deal with the situation. Bound again to the bed, the two engage in their cultivation session, appearing to access each other's spiritual memories. Suddenly, Yingxiong finds himself in a different place, awakening among ancient ruins surrounded by vibrant green grass. He spots a door, and upon touching its lock, he unlocks a memory from Muzi's spiritual realm. There, he encounters a younger version of her, in that same place, now devoid of life and color. They fall into a void together, as Yingxiong navigates the memories, eventually discovering a powerful spiritual energy. They soon find themselves back, where Muzi witnesses a calamity and a fire in the distance. She rushes towards the site, only to confront the assassin who has massacred everyone present. In a somber moment, she reveals that on the night of that memory, her entire family was wiped out due to her treasures. One of these, a spiritual weapon, caused her downfall. Had those assassins found her now, they would have been doomed. She shares with Yingxiong that within his memories, she felt a familiar warmth in his spiritual energy that offered her comfort. After this, he returns home, where he discovers a bride waiting on his bed. It's the same girl who had once attempted to kill him, Mozi, now in his room. Unsure of what to do, he chooses to sleep on the floor that night. The next day, we see that her seductive power has affected many men as she continues her search. Suddenly, lines form behind her, and in that spot, Muzi passes by, while the man who once attempted to court her reappears. He tries again to win her over, but to no avail. As a twist, Yingxiong arrives, causing the assassin to dive toward him. Muzi also charges in, starting a fierce competition between the two women for the attention of our lucky protagonist, who ends up feeling quite unlucky as a result. To ease the situation, he decides to give Muzi a gift to calm her down. However, on his way, he inadvertently stumbles into a group of rejected men seeking revenge, blaming him for their misfortunes. They chase him down, and as he tries to evade their wrath, he ends up falling to the ground. At that moment, both girls swiftly come to his defense, defeating the assailants. In the end, Yingxiong presents Muzi with an unconventional gift that is just enough to make Rui feel rejected and walk away. Yingxiong chases after her, attempting to comfort her and assuring her that he didn't mean to upset her, but she leaves nonetheless. The next scene reveals Rui's master is out there devouring humans, growing stronger. He instructs her to ensure that the two cultivators remain unaware of his existence while he assumes his final form. The episode concludes with Rui meeting up with Yingxiong that night. To test his spiritual abilities, she engages him in a fight. He refuses to defend himself because she is his friend. In the end, she goes easy on him while Muzi appears, warning them that her master is after them and that danger is imminent. At the beginning of the 8th episode, Rui begins to recount her story. She was an energetic girl living in a quiet little village, but she had a friend that no one else could see. The other children treated her poorly because of this, but she always remained loyal to her friend. This friend was a monster, half woman and half snake, and they shared a strong bond filled with affection. Rui would look after her, bringing things from the village since her friend couldn't go there. One day, an unusual visitor arrived in the small village, a man who claimed to perform magic tricks and was being revered as a deity. Rui ignored him as she passed by until he spoke to her telepathically, saying that she would lose everything that night. On that very night, she went to visit her friend again, only to find her missing. Gazing into the distance, she was horrified to see her village aflame. The monster was attacking, killing everyone in its path, including Rui's parents. The last survivor was the old visitor who, as he fell, revealed that the monster had headed toward the forest. Determined, she races to the beloved forest to confront the snake, but on her way, she is stopped by a wise man. He tells her that she is not yet prepared and presents her with a flaming blade so she can defeat the monster. Following the snake's tracks, Rui finds her already wounded by something sinister. Although she succeeds in striking down her friend, the snake embraces her before dying, a tragic end to their bond. After this heartbreaking event, she encounters the wise man once more and pleads with him to save the village, but he admits that he does not have such power. However, he can invite her to become his disciple, which she gladly accepts. The episode concludes with Rui contemplating that her master would soon achieve his ultimate form if he is not stopped. Meanwhile, Musi thinks about escaping to a peaceful place to live a happy life, but Rui insists that they must return to face reality, as her master will certainly find them. Musi proposes that they can still defeat him if they work together since his demonic transformation is still incomplete. Later, in their hotel room, Ying suggests that they cultivate through, let's say, intimate activities to enhance their powers, but every time he does, Musi gives him a playful smack. She reveals there's something that could greatly enhance his abilities, but it requires the blood of the host. They must be cautious, though, as the spirit could take control of the user's body. Musi then cuts Yingxiong, letting his blood flow, and uses her spiritual energy to summon forth his spirit. It manifests as a beautiful woman who refers to Yingxiong as master. However, his spiritual power level is still too low, and she quickly fades away, indicating he needs to grow stronger to maintain her presence. As the day ends, they sleep separately. The next day, while walking, Yingxiong encounters the same man rejected by Musi countless times, but now he has hired spiritual weapon hunters to aid him. They are soon surprised by Musi and Rui. Using their powers, they seal the girls in danger, about to be attacked when Yingxiong is safeguarded by his spirit. He manages to break the hunter's spell and liberates the girls, causing the enemies to beg for their lives, rolling over like dogs, while the contractor faces defeat once again. However, Rui's master is watching all of this unfold. Rui returns to her master, who questions her about completing her mission. She admits that she spoke to Yingxiong, but when he asks if it is because they are stronger or if she plans to kill him, she grows nervous and attempts to deny it. He then reveals he knows of her betrayal and seeks to kill her, prompting their chase. Yingxiong's spirit provides him with a sacred dagger that once belonged to Xuanzi. He discovers a cloning ability, which enables him to summon duplicates of himself. After this, he receives a signal from Rui saying she is in trouble and that her master knows of her betrayal. Forced to confront Rui's master, Musi also joins the fray, along with Rui and two of Yingxiong's clones. They combine their powers for an assault on the old demon, but their attacks prove ineffective, repelled easily. As a trump card, Yingxiong decides to use his dagger, catching the old master off guard, breaking through his defenses, and drawing his blood. Afterward, Yingxiong confronts the master directly, who retaliates with a powerful demonic attack that can drain the spiritual energy of everyone, even their blood. Yet amid this, Yingxiong invokes a barrier that disperses his enemy's ability, creating a protection that, while powerful, cannot attack. The old master knows this and hits repeatedly against the barrier, which is about to give way. Watching as everyone else succumbs to exhaustion, they take off, hoping to escape. However, the enemy soon returns, prepared with another trap laid out. Rui takes charge of the situation, revealing the weaknesses of her master's demonic art she noted in her journal. He is ensnared by the trap, but when everyone rushes in for a combined attack, he effortlessly sends them flying, demonstrating even greater power. In a last-ditch effort, Yingxiong calls for Rui, stating that he can reveal the secrets of the night her village was destroyed. He then divulges everything to Rui, explaining that he had suffered because of her, a prodigy who cultivated her spiritual power since childhood. He then divulges that he disguised himself as a fortune teller in the days that followed. That night he had disguised as her friend, and he was responsible for the massacre of her village. He even provided her with the dagger to kill her own injured friend, thus absorbing the serpent's spiritual energy. After hearing everything, Rui flies into a rage, set on hunting down the old demon. Yingxiong follows her, and even though Rui's attacks seem ineffective, Yingxiong manages to strike Rui down once more, demonstrating true control. He unleashes his powers to decimate the battlefield, where once again the wealthy man who once persisted in courting Rui tries to swoop in when, during a skirmish, he falls from an airplane. He is saved by his butler. As the battle intensifies, Yingxiong and Musi face Rui's master. Utilizing his fiery magic, he obliterates the plane into several pieces, while lightning and flames rage around them. They battle fiercely, equal opponents, until Rui catches one of the lightning bolts and sends it hurling towards Musi, who suffers a wound to her arm. In the climactic moment, when Rui tries to annihilate both Yingxiong and Musi with powers he stole, Yingxiong joins forces with Musi in a relentless attack. After receiving Yingxiong's charge, Rui's arm is severed, and yet he leverages this to unleash magic that siphons the blood of everyone surrounding him, weakening them all. In a desperate attempt, Yingxiong frees his spirit for protection, but is soon overwhelmed by his master's control. In a last reckless act, Yingxiong channels the energy of his dagger, unaware that a dragon is sealed within it. This energy, when unleashed, spirals out of his control. In a moment of fury, Yingxiong awakens his spiritual energy, executing his plan. The old master absorbs the energy of the dagger. Finally, as he succumbs to chaos, Yingxiong bursts forth with powerful blue wings and unleashes a fierce attack that drives the dagger home, finally slaying the twisted master. Elated at avenging what he cherished, Yingxiong suddenly hears the voice of Senior, calling him. The great demon eye that appeared at the beginning of the anime reveals himself, having observed everything from the shadows. He surprises Yingxiong by informing him that it was his cultivation that led Musi into contact with the pearl that bore Yingxiong's essence. The master demands that Musi hand over the pearl, but knows it can't be given right then. Instead, he proposes a deal. Within 3 years, she must deliver the pearl in exchange for saving Yingxiong. However, the specific location where he is hidden remains a mystery for Musi to uncover. As he takes Musi away, we see Yingxiong filled with determination, ready to embark on a new journey to rescue her. The anime ends with a memory of a younger Yingxiong in a garden, promising that she would never be alone again, as Rui reconciles and says goodbye to her once dear friend. Thank you for joining us as we explored the intriguing world of this anime. If you enjoyed this recap and want to stay updated on our latest content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and activate the notification bell. Share your thoughts in the comments below about what you think of Yingxiong's journey, and let us know what other stories you'd like us to dive into next. Your support helps us create more exciting content for you. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.